Hey everyone, Philip Monteleone here, the Book Peddler. If you haven't, I hope you like and subscribe to my channel, the Book Peddler. You can stay up to date on book picks, in-store, out-store activity, personal reviews that I do on different material. I'm on different social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Tinder, so you can find me on some of them. And I appreciate all your support out there. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. This is like a few days after Christmas. And I wanted to make a video on the art of book selling. Basically, selling, it is an art form. To me, it is. And specifically, though, when it comes to books, how I sell and have developed a style and certain points of importance that I've learned to capitalize on when it comes to making a sale. Now, I don't have a chalkboard up behind me. I'm not going to write down these different points. I just wanted to speak in general terms to you. And if you're just beginning selling, or if you have been selling, maybe you can pick up a thing or two techniques that I do. It's more geared towards having a physical location and dealing with customers, but it can absolutely relay over to your online listings in I guess certain platforms, maybe not all platforms, but there's definitely different principles I like to cover, etiquette and advice that can be transferable. So before I get started, I want to give a quick shout out to everybody that wished me a Merry Christmas and said all these nice things. I'm gonna cover you guys in the next video. In this video, though, I have to give a shout out to Stanford. Stanford found my YouTube channel. I think you're down in Alabama, the great state of Alabama, and he was bought very generously off of me. So Stanford, I appreciate your business. I'm happy that you're enjoying my videos, and just shout out to you and a special thanks. I thank anybody who has purchased off of me in the past, who are going to purchase, and who do, because it helps support me, the channel, everything else, of course. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot to me. So of course, check out those links down in the description. So Stanford, I hope you enjoy your books. I shipped them out first thing, and hopefully I get to you soon. So let's get started now with this topic on the art of book selling. I have some notes in front of me. It may be a little lengthy, but I'm going to try my best to condense it down to some point. And I'd love to hear your feedback on this. And let's get started. So I never took a business class, no salesman classes, nothing. But I come from a long line of entrepreneurs, and I think just the general way that I was brought up and my influences around me kind of geared me towards a particular type of work. Even if you're not per se, you can absolutely learn how to be. And from observing successful people and their habits, picking up on social cues, learning proper conduct, learning about human psychology and behavioralism of individuals, and to be honest with you, just general self-reflection on how you react. And can really do a lot for you. How you act favorably in certain situations, and what turns you off of certain situations. Reflect a little bit on those actions. That can help you. Selling is an art. My dad always says, if you can sell, you'll always be able to make money. Sky's the limit. Companies thrive off of their salesmen, and if you can sell, you'll always have work. So there's different styles of salesmen, and by no means should you try to be an actor, or try to play some role. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. Your abilities are going to improve, and you'll refine it. You'll have successes and failures. You'll learn from it all. So there are many highs when it comes to being in this book business. You know, the hunt, securing new material, uncovering new material, the general enjoyment of having a shop, and when a great sale is made, you want to do it again and again. And like my first point to be made is coming up here, but like any salesman, you have to know your product. This, of course, is books. You got to know books. I've always said that if I personally can learn the language of something, I can sell it and be successful. I've always had that confident attitude. And so the number one point is to learn the book language. how to identify, how to properly relay the condition of a book. Now, I must admit, if you go on my seller site, some of my early listings are probably a little bit rough and they need to be updated because it was when I was just beginning. And maybe that's why some of them sat for so long. But that's another story. So, but you need to know what foxing is with toning, scuffing, smudging, corner wear, edge wear, boards. For the antiquarian books, not antique books, not old books, antiquarian books, proper terminology, blind stamps, book plates, hinges, red rot, steel engravings, tissue guards, calf leather, on and on and on. You got to learn the language of your books. When you can properly identify and describe what you were looking at and what you are showing someone, when you can adequately answer questions, concerns, not only do you come off as more professional, but it's instilling a confidence within the buyer, okay, and within yourself, that you know what you're doing, and that's going to help obviously tremendously. It's professionalism of the trade, and you don't want to look like an amateur. The buyer will be more comfortable and confident to buy off of you. So I heavily encourage learn the language. Also, to add on to learning the language of the book and what that consists of. And it takes time. Certain things, I'm always learning kind of different particular things. I think I'm even making up words half the time too. I probably am, but certain things are creatively, what's it called? There's probably a word for it having to do with creativity, creative leeway. I don't know. But besides all that, there's something to be added to this. It's not just knowing the characteristics of the books itself, but also learning about the fields of the book. The genres is important too, and it can garnish you sales that weren't initially there to begin with. And I'll give you an example. When someone comes into my shop that I don't know, I try to vie for information. I greet them. I say hello. I introduce myself and everything. And I ask them what they're interested in particular genres, authors, general interests even. Now, if I don't have what they're looking for, I can at least direct them to the proper area. Obviously, I would hope I'd be able to do this, and you as well. But for instance, I don't need to know every detail about the genres and authors, but I'll give you an example. If someone that's really into bird hunting, there's two guys out there, Gene Hill and Bird Dog Evans. They're very reputable in the field for having nice stories. A lot of my customers enjoy them. Now, someone that's really into Gene Hill, say I ain't got no more Gene Hill to sell, but I have Bird Dog Evans. This is my opportunity to introduce them to another author now and make a potential sale. Hey, you know something? I don't have Gene Hill, but this is another very reputable guy in the field that a lot of my customers seem to enjoy reading as well as Gene Hill. I think he has probably a little bit of a different style. It might resonate even more with you. Check out some of these books. And I'm putting it in front of them and giving them their space to check out the book. Yeah, I think this is interesting. What would you like for it? I'll give this book a shot, and if I know a little more background on Evans, that helps as well. So I can at least make a recommendation to some extent in the same field based on what customers have read or something I've read that's of similar interest. Another example to this would be if someone's looking for George Orwell's 1984 book. I'm out of copies, right? Now, what most people don't know is that there was a book that inspired Orwell's book. It's called We. And the guy's name is Yevgeny Zamitin, I believe, but he was a Soviet dissident, and it was basically a dystopic novel about I don't know what's going on, about a future police state. Okay, this is one of the books that inspired Orwell. So if I have that book, I'm out of Orwell, but hey, have you ever heard of this book? This is a book that inspired actually 1984. You may find it of interest. Oh, what's it about? Now, and you say a little piece. Generally, that's going to be a sale, okay, based on my experience. Many times, I'll give you another quick example, okay? Many times, but I think it's important to get these real-life examples because this is what's been successful. You can translate it, okay? Many times, couples come in my door. One of them doesn't like to read. The other goes off and they're in their, their world. They're loving it. They're going around and looking for stuff. Well, this gives me an opportunity to strike up a conversation with the party over here. If we get into talking and say we're talking about music or something, and there's something relatable, and they like Elvis, and I may have an Elvis book over there, I'll use it as an opportunity to say, hey, you may check out this Elvis book that I actually have come across. It's got great pictures in it. I've never seen a lot of these pictures before. They take the book, bring it over to the table, and start looking through it, and they'll see, hey, it is interesting. What do you want for it? There you go, another sale. So this has been very successful for me. The social aspect, knowing somewhat about the genres, and relaying it over. Okay. So also you can learn a ton from your customers. Many will have different interests, but if you pay attention or are attentive, it can help you in selling to other people as well. I've learned this for sure. Now, for instance, I know nothing about knitting. Okay, someone is interested in knitting. They're really well versed in it, and they pull the book and they go, "This is a great book on knitting," And I go, "Good for you." What do you want from me? No, not at all. I asked them what makes it a good book on knitting. Okay, I don't myself have any interest in it, but 8 months down the road, when I've learned why that's the best book on knitting to have, and someone comes in looking for a knitting book, guess who can recommend it to them? Okay, even if I didn't even get a chance to, and someone pulls it to buy it, I'll say, "Oh, that's someone came in months ago, and they said this is the best book on knitting because of this, that, and the other. What do you know about that book?" Or something to that effect. But I can at least make the suggestion. And if they might respond, it is a great book on knitting, and they've been looking for this book for a long time, then I can ask them, what's the appeal to you, or how have you heard about it? It doubly reinforces it in my mind. I'm always prying for information. Then when I'm out in the field on a pick or something, and I see that book, I know it's a must read, because in that field, people love that book. So that's a little bit of advice on that. Learn the book language. You can learn a lot from your customers and open them up. Be sociable with them. Now, to be honest with you, there's been very few bookstores I've been in that greet their customers the way I greet them or speak with them. Now, your experience may be different, but it's just my approach. It's my style, I guess, and I enjoy people, and I believe in a certain level of hospitality. So anyhow, let's get to another point. You want to be honest and transparent about what you have. It's very easy to dupe somebody in this business. You can market to a beginning collector. What appears to be a first edition book, neglect to say it's actually a later state, just due to your laziness, or you're being deceptive to try to make a sale. It's con man stuff. It's dishonorable. It's disgraceful to the trade itself. And I do know people who do this, actually. One person, obviously I won't mention their name, they'll never see this anyways, but is a dealer, not in books, but in other things. And they were trying to relate a historical piece, and give it a provenance of someone else. So they wanted me to look up in one of my earlier books to pick out a name and relate it to this piece. Of course, I didn't do that, because to me that's just kind of disgraceful, and I ain't gonna play a con. I'm not a con man. So, but anyhow, let's move forward. Be honest and be transparent with people. They'll respect you more, and they'll trust you more as well. Presentation is a big thing. Presentation, the way the book is presented, is important. Someday I'll have a bigger store. I have a bunch of glass cases around for rare material, and when people see something that's displayed properly, they want it more. It's more desirable. It's putting a bow on it, and it separates from the regular. Okay, so Now, when I talk about a rare book specifically, another point being I'm excited about. Now, naturally, I'm excited because I love this business. If you're not excited, you better get up to par here. You should be excited about what you're doing and inspired and everything else. I mean, I would hope you are. It can be a really grind, this business, but you got to get excited about it if you want your buyer to be excited about it. Customers see I have appreciation, love for what I do, and it reflects in my work. So you're not going to have as much successes as you should if you're not excited about it. So, boy, I got a lot of what's it called when there's heat in your chest, like indigestion or something. So sorry about that, guys. But let me continue on. So some think the book can sell itself, but whatever the product has, it generally ain't gonna sell itself, and so you got to bring attention to it. I'm gonna give you an example of when I pull a rare book to show somebody and to help influence and hopefully close on a sale. Okay, so I can start by saying where I got it from. This came from this place or this person. People love knowing the provenance, and so if you can establish a provenance, it does help in the sale. They like the story behind it, and I was actually joking with Stanford. Made a comment on one of my YouTube videos on on a Mark Twain video. I was showing it was a joke, of course, how to forge a signature to give it more value. And then I said my next video is going to be how to establish a provenance to give a book more value. But obviously, don't do that. I hope you don't do that. But I'm just saying it does help in the sale. People are always generally very interested. One guy who does an excellent job with this, his name is Adam Weinberger, and he's in the city. He's got a YouTube channel. I'll link his thing up in the description. Well-respected guy. I encourage you to check out his videos. But people really enjoy the story where he found it. Now, if you don't know where it comes from, something can always be said about it, or generally can be. Like, these books were published for members of a certain society, maybe. Know a little bit about that society to relay it over. This book came from the printing press of a French printer who did XYZ, noted for XYZ. This stuff helps enhance the desirability of the book itself. I point out things that might not be as readily apparent. When I do this, it could be me saying, I love the insignia on the spine. It displays well. Now, I brought that out in a tempered way, a measured way. And check out these engravings. Aren't these gorgeous? I'm asking a question now. If they're perceiving the same thing and they find agreements, why, yes, it is, Phil. What a beautiful looking book. I'm getting them to say yes, okay? Their emotions to the objects itself may have been raised a little bit by me doing this. If I can appreciate, I don't have nothing in front of me. If I can appreciate, the way a cover was tooled, into the leather. I say something like, the time it took for someone to hand tool this gold inlay, it's just quality. Books aren't made like this anymore. It's a piece of art to me. And it's not just a piece of art to Joe Blow. It's a piece of art to the book peddler. So what more do you need to know, right? So that doesn't carry weight, but a piece of art to an obsessive guy like myself. Anyhow, but tone and delivery are important when you're talking about the book, okay? Now, maybe there are only a couple of that particular book on the market that you can find. So I'll tell them I can only find a reference to X amount, therefore establishing its rarity. Of course, rarity does not always mean big dollar signs, but it helps presenting it that way. Obviously, it's obscure. So, I don't have to say what the pricing is like out there. Maybe though, if one's tattered for $400, mine's in superior condition. I can use that as leverage to try to make the sale. And I'll say something like, for you, I will sell you this book for X amount. You make them feel special a little bit, and they trust you. They know you've done your research, and you like them to own it. I'll say things like, if I could afford to keep it myself. Now, I don't say that for everything. I'm a truthful guy. If I could, I would. Them knowing that may enhance the desirability level. Okay. And I mean, I have a book on Scottish castles that I think is so beautiful. I have a book on first edition trappers in New York. I love it. I would keep them, but I really can't afford to keep them. And I don't want to compete with my customers. If I compete with my customers, I'm out of business. You know what I'm saying? And I want to stay in this business and stay being able to handle this kind of stuff. So, that's that in a nutshell. I'm not being deceiving. It's the truth of the matter. I would keep it if I could. But I want to try to treat people right. I want to be treated how I like to be treated. When I go to a nice restaurant, I'm spending some money. I demand to be treated and catered to and respected. I try to give people equal amounts of attention when it's in the shop. I try to read situations. If I know someone is going to talk my ear off, I have to excuse myself and check on if everyone's doing okay. And I'm also like giving them the clearance to interrupt my conversation with this person. And if they want to check out, they're not feeling trapped, waiting for the conversation to end and not wanting to be rude. So it's a game of etiquette as well. Excuse me. I'm at the 21-minute mark. If you're still watching, I hope you like this video. I'm trying to condense this down, but I think it's an important topic, and I'm gonna try to carry on, and I hope this is capturing your attention to some extent. Okay, I'll know, I guess, by the comments, but if you got this far. But so anyhow, in this business, as I said, I'm also selling myself. Etiquette goes a long way. Now I'm out in the countryside. I don't dress to the nines out here. If I was in the city, I might look a little slicker, a little more dialed up, so to say. But I think it's important to pay attention to how you present yourself. Also, how the shop presents itself. To your best ability. It shows a professionalism. Okay, I don't talk like a thug or some gangster when I'm in here with somebody. I speak clearly. And that's important to do. Generally, I still wear my work boots, some clean pair of jeans, and a nice shirt. But when I do get dressed up nice, the older men, they know that some girl is probably coming to meet me here. And guess who's hanging around to see the prospect, So that gets me laughing like crazy. So, like, he's not just dressing up just to be nice for the day. So, but it's a pretty funny thing. And they're usually correct half the time at least. So, but anyhow, in terms of etiquette, I want to get back to this. In terms of etiquette and being a good salesman, I greet people when I see them pull up to the door. I hold the door open for them. Hey, how are you doing? And anyhow, it's a nice day for a drive. Just a little chit chat. I think it's important. And I thank people for stopping in, and it's genuine. I ask them where they're from. I am genuinely interested in people, so this ain't hard for me to do. I don't overdo it. I have gotten in long dialogues with customers who really interest me, and as long as the conversation naturally flows, I don't force anything. I'm never up anyone's rear. I give them space to explore. They need time to see if there's something of interest. If there isn't, I still thank them and welcome them back anytime. And I'll say stuff like, yeah, I'm open on the weekends, but if you see my car parked out front during the week, I'm working in here. By all means, come on in, say hello. I'm inviting. You want to be inviting the people. A lot of book dealers are a little bit cold. I hate to say it, but the ones that I've been around have been a little bit cold. And as they say, you get more honeys, or you get more bees with honey, right? Something of that nature. So, I also, I mean, it makes them feel special, okay? And it's a good thing. Some people seem to be interested in me and my business. They ask a lot of questions. Sometimes I show off real cool, rare books and point out things. And even if they don't buy something, they can tell somebody else. He's got a great little shop with really fascinating books. You like it. He's a cool guy. So let's recap really quickly because I'm almost at the 25-minute mark. Learn the language of the books. Connect with the customer and gather information. Know how to open and when to close. Be honest and transparent. present not just the book well, but also yourself well. Now, I have a couple more selling points, and next is prospecting and networking when it comes to selling. Being inviting, having social awareness is also playing into potential prospecting and networking for future book hauls and picks. People are more apt to give you a reference if you're decent to them. Also, if your books are sold and they're in excellent condition, they're very happy. Things like this, okay? So I get job offers every year from somebody that comes in here because of how I present and carry myself, and they see me in a business that is a difficult business to be in, and I'm being successful. If I can make this successful, I can help them. That's, I think, what they figure, which it means a lot. That's a really cool thing. Um, and anyhow, but when I'm, mingling with people basically and visiting with them, it's not like it all benefits me economically, so to say, at least not at the moment. But these people are more apt to give me reference to others. Hey, I know somebody selling a book collection. Happens time and time again, every year, constantly. People reference me because they trust me and they like me. And that's just what it is. So and if I can get a new person in the door, if I can get you in the door, I always say I can get a customer for life. Even if they don't come back in a year, 2, 3, 4, they had a good experience here. They generally are going to come back. So, and if you're not good in social situations, okay, put yourself in them and practice talking to strangers. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. I know that pickup artist, they used to send guys out to get girls' numbers, and just that act of doing it over and over and over again, and rejection, it numbs you to it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not scared anymore. You're looser with people. The more you practice, the better you'll get at it. It's like general behavioralism. If you're scared of something, some people run in fear, but if you're scared of it, you got to face it. It's like I heard, if you're scared of elevators, you start out by looking at pictures of elevators. Then you go stand in front of an elevator, stare at it. Before you know it, you're on the elevator. Stuff like this. It's changing your behavior, the wiring in your brain. Now, another thing that I do that helps me in sales is I constantly put books aside for customers that I think that would like them. Now, many I could flip immediately, but I choose not to. I value my customers. Do you know how much that means to people? It means a tremendous amount. You're securing your local customer base, and you're securing their loyalty ultimately, at least to some extent. Now, if they go to another guy down the street and buy some books, now I'm happy for them that they found a good deal and everything. I'm like, oh, that's a great thing. And then I try to find out more information about who sold it to them. I'll eat a clove of garlic and kind of come in and basically tell them it's not good for health that they sell to this person again, and it'd be a shame to see another book business have to kind of shut its doors. And you just overlay that message, and then generally they're not going to be as excited with a new book that they bought off this guy next time. So trick of the trade. So I'm playing, but anyhow, most shops I don't go to greet people the way I do and treat them the way I do. And I think it's of the utmost importance. Everyone has their own style. The people I've learned the most from, believe it or not, have been antique dealers, actually. Antique dealers and at markets and at flea markets, seeing how people weave and speak and how they sell these items, because these guys are out there hustling. And they've got to make these sales. They not only got to pay for the booth, but some of them, they're retired, but you don't get a lot off of Social Security, and this is how they make that extra cash to do stuff in their lives. I have learned a ton from watching antique dealers, and it has relayed over in this book market tremendously. I just use my own language when it comes to it. So, let me see if I have a couple more points here, guys, and then I'll end this video. I'm at the 30-minute mark. I appreciate you sticking with me through this. I hope I'm not droning on so much that it's becoming exhaustive, okay? So maybe it should have been 2 parts, but it is what it is. So what is making me more successful every year is I keep refining my knowledge on the business and skills to grow to become an expert in my field. I'm in control of my emotions when I talk about books. I'm confident that everything will sell at some point. I try to get on the wavelength of others, establish trust and comfort. My name and my family honor means everything to me when it comes to business. I mean, if I was a sociopath, I'd be manipulative. I'd be mirroring your behaviors, wearing different masks to secure an end goal. I'd use that as a means to an end. And there are many salesmen out there that do that. Now, some of my experiences with seasoned dealers in the field, have forced me to up my game and up my knowledge. And again, to be a good salesman, you have to be you have to start being an expert in your field. Okay. And I went over that in the beginning, but this is another aspect of this. Okay. Early on in the beginning, some of these guys would get one over on me. Okay. And I could feel it. And I feel pressure to sell. Don't ever feel pressure to sell your books if you're not certain on them. Don't. I mean, I've had to, I've gotten a little loud with people before, not calling them out in public or anything, but show my teeth. If you ever see my teeth, I got some big ass choppers. But, some people can be overly aggressive with you. And it's like, listen, it's not priced. I'll get to you. I'll get back to you with a price. These guys will break down its condition, break down its presentation, try to get that better deal. You have to, what's going to give you confidence to sell is your knowledge on it. When you've done your homework, you can stand on your feet and confidently give that price. Don't be doing it. You don't need to do anybody any favors. If they want it, they'll buy it. You got a job, right? You got money. If you want it, you'll buy it. Or I'll put it aside and we can do a payment plan if that's how it comes down. But if you're new to this game, don't feel pressure. Relax under it, okay? Everything's going to be fine. Everything sells at some point. Don't jump on the first deal. You don't have to. So, anyhow, let's put bookends on this video and summarize it. It takes time, energy, discipline, attention to detail to be a good salesman. Covered this throughout. Discipline in doing the homework on the business and on the material. Be an expert in the book trade or the niche within the trade and capitalize on those strengths. Try to learn everything you can on it. Learn the language of the book. All these things will instill confidence in selling. Honesty and transparency will help in your future sales. Excuse me. The importance of presentation, your physical shop, your online listings, your appearance. Have a professionalism to you. Be non-threatening and approachable. And improve your networking and prospecting. Social skills required. Okay? Learn how to open people and when to close them. So, anyhow, this is a long video. I appreciate you sticking with me. It took a long time for me to get my thoughts out there. But I hope that you find value in this video. I was reflecting on my past sales and interactions with people, and these kind of points and things that I'm speaking of and the examples I'm giving is what I've noticed to relay over in sales. And having that proper conduct and proper information is the utmost importance. You have to be persistent and disciplined to do this job. You will be successful. You just have to put in the work. That's all, and stick with it, okay? Thank you all very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel, The Book Peddler. I'll keep you up to date on book picks, in-store, out-store activity, and all the rest of that stuff. So until next time, guys, take care.